Wedding planning can get really expensive, and so sometimes you have to pick and choose what matters most to you. For me, wedding invitations were not on the top of my priority list because, let's be real, most people just throw them out after the wedding anyways. But that doesn't mean that I wanted them to look cheap or rushed or just not high quality. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I designed my beautiful invitations so that you can too. Hey, I'm Sarah. I'm a professional content creator and also a bride-to-be. If you like this type of content, please make sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And in the comments, let me know what your wedding date is. I'm curious if anybody has the same wedding date as me. Before we jump into it, if you're watching this video, I'm gonna assume that you're probably planning a wedding too. And throughout the process of wedding planning, one thing that I've really learned is that there's a lot of pressure that's put on brides. So I'm happy to say that today's video is sponsored by BetterHelp, which has made such a positive impact on my mental health during this season of my life. As a bride-to-be, I've been dealing with the stress of planning, the anxiety that comes with trying to make every little detail perfect, the pressure that's put on brides to look your best and feel your best and blah, 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 blah. It's exhausting. Thankfully, I've been regularly working with a therapist through BetterHelp, which has made such a positive difference. I first started using BetterHelp about 3 years ago at this point, and starting therapy was really easy. I just filled out a questionnaire, and BetterHelp actually matched me with a therapist who has experience helping people with struggles like mine. I'm able to set up a voice call or a video chat, or just message my therapist whenever I need to. And one of my favorite features is that if the first therapist doesn't really feel like the right fit, you can easily switch to another one until you find someone that you connect with. So if you'd like to try some therapy sessions, visit betterhelp.com/SarahGav to get 10% off your first month of therapy. I will put that link in the description as well. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get to it. So here are all of the invitations that we printed on Canva. We have the save the date, the invitation, and then also a details card with some information blacked out just for privacy purposes. Our save the date cards have a photo of us, the basic info of our wedding, and totaled out to $112. Our invitations obviously have all the details on it. We also have an attached details card. And for this, I created a little invite suite with vellum paper and a little sticker. The total for everything came out to $181, and I'll link everything down below so that if you want to get any of the materials that I used, you can easily do so. Now let's jump into Canva and I'll show you how to do it. All right, so the first thing that you're gonna do to start your invitations is you're going to get into Canva, canva.com, and you're going to click Create a Design. Then up at the top, you're going to type invitation. I chose the portrait. Of course, you can go landscape as well, but let's do portrait. Over on the left-hand side over here, you're gonna see there's a ton of different templates that you can use. Type in wedding, and you'll be able to see a whole bunch of really pretty wedding invitation designs. Now there is a free version of Canva and a pro. Because I'm a social media manager and I use Canva all the time, I do have the pro. And I have a link to get a free trial, I believe, of the pro version. So I'll put that in the description if you do want to try it. I mean, hey, your wedding is the perfect time to try the free trial, right? You can make the invitations and then see if you want to keep it. But as a free version user, you just have limited templates compared to the pro and limited elements and things like that. So just keep that in mind. All of your templates are going to be here in this design templates section. They make it really easy for you to just plug and play. So like you can just grab one of these, you can change out your text, the whole thing. It makes it super simple. This is the design that I ended up going with. If you do decide to design from scratch, I would suggest a couple of things. Number one, I would not pick too many fonts or too many colors. So as you can see here, I really only have one font throughout the entire thing. This one is a little different, but the rest of them are literally the same font. Same thing goes with the sizing. So this one is a size 9. This one is also a size 9. This is also a size 9, right? So you can see the consistency there. So I do suggest just keeping these elements in mind. But truly the best thing about Canva is that there are so many templates. You can also select elements. If I type in wedding here and I go to graphics, you can add a whole bunch of different wedding graphics here. I oftentimes like to write drawing for invitation stuff. Like this is super cute. Love the bow. Love the little heart. Love this for a menu, right? So there's a lot of different elements here that you can add into your invitation if you want to start with a template and then kind of work your way up to something that's a little bit more unique to you. Some other tips as well, you can use the alignment tools that Canva offers. So When you're finished, what I suggest is highlighting everything, going over to position, and making sure that everything is in the center. That really helps out to make sure that something doesn't accidentally get printed and look a little funky. You can also space everything evenly. Let's say you had, I don't know, a list of 3 things in a row that you wanted all to be evenly spaced. If you were to click vertically, it'll space everything evenly for you. And my other big tip is that when you are done, send it to someone. If you have a maid of honor that you trust, or a family member or something like that, send it to someone and just get their opinion. Because when I made my first round of invitations, sometimes you're staring at the screen for so long that it's almost like, you can't even recognize if it's good or not anymore because you're staring at it for so long. At least that's what happens in my case. So having a second opinion from my maid of honor was really helpful. So going back to the Canva homepage, I want to also show you how I did the same thing for the details cards. It's the exact same tutorial, except in create a design, I typed in postcard. And I went with this option for my details cards, which looks like that. I would suggest, if you are going to do a details card, to make it look similar to the invitation. This way it has kind of a similar vibe. What I actually did was I looked on Google and I just typed in wedding details card. And I kind of just imitated what I saw other people write in their details cards and what other people had in terms of their spacing and things like that. I kind of used that as a reference. And of course, I used my own invitations as well as a reference for things like color and fonts and spacing and all that kind of stuff. When you design out your card, whatever you have in your first page, page 1 can be like the front of the card, and page 2 can be the back of the card. So you're actually able to design both the front and the back. What I love for the back is to pick one of these backgrounds. They have so many different pretty like flower backgrounds. So if that's kind of the vibe of your wedding, you can do that. You can also go into photos to find different backgrounds, or you probably can go into elements as well. Sometimes they have like good patterns. If you type in a pattern, maybe that's kind of your vibe, or again, maybe like a flower pattern. There you go. So you can pick one of these, pretty flower backgrounds and use that. Just like in any Canva design, you can change the colors, you can change anything about it really. So it's really easy to customize. I do want to show you something that you can easily add onto your save the dates or your details cards or whatever you want, which is a QR code. A lot of people love having a QR code on their invitations to lead over to a wedding website, which is exactly what we did as well. You are going to go into apps right here, and you're going to type in QR code. Click that first one right there, and then type in your URL. So I'm gonna type in The Knot, which is a popular wedding website. Obviously, you do not wanna just write theknot.com. You wanna have your entire wedding website URL, but just for the example, I'm gonna show theknot.com. You're gonna generate the code here, and you'll have a nice QR code that then if people scan it, they'll be able to instantly access your wedding website. So once you've completed the front and the back, what I did was I actually printed mine right through Canva, which was really easy for me. I have been printing through Canva for probably 2 years, maybe 3 years at this point. So it's always very consistent. It's always very high quality, and they have a really good policy for returns. So what I do is you click here, print with Canva, and you'll have a couple of options that show up here. So first, you'll be able to see a preview of the front and the back. Over on the right-hand side, you're gonna see that there are different paper options. For my invitations, I did go with the deluxe paper. I have used the premium paper a ton, and actually I used the premium for my bridal shower invitations because I don't know, it's a tiny bit cheaper. I guess I saved a little bit of money. But in my opinion, there's not too much of a difference. Just the deluxe is like a little bit more high quality. I have no experience with the hemp paper, so I'm sorry about that. As for the finish, we have 3 different finish options: matte, gloss, or uncoated. My invitations are uncoated. I like that type of style where it's the type of paper that you can write on. So it's not glossy, it's not matte, it's a little different. Almost like thick paper that you'd see like on a folder, like that type of manila folder type of paper. It's kind of like that. I don't really know how to explain it, but I really like the uncoated finished look. I've also ordered cards in matte for Christmas cards. It just has a little bit more of a glossy look to it, especially on the front side. I don't think as much on the back side. And then the gloss is like glossy. I personally haven't ordered things like this, but I think this is like what you'd get like if you printed a picture. You know how it has that gloss like film on it? And then you also have options for the corners as well. So you have square corners if you want a sharp edge, or you can do rounded corners. Again, choosing these different options does make it more expensive. So the deluxe paper is the most expensive option of paper type. The uncoated, I believe, is the most expensive for the paper finish. And then definitely the rounded corners is the more expensive of the two here. But as you can see, this is with the options that I just mentioned, the deluxe and the uncoated and the square corners. I was able to print my 100 invitations for $95. You can choose to include envelopes in the order. They're just very basic envelopes that look like this. I've gotten these envelopes for Christmas cards and things, and they're always great. I mean, it's hard to mess up an envelope, right? Once you're done, you just press continue and you can move forward with the printing process. To show you the same thing with the postcards, you would just click print with Canva. I went with the small option, which is a 4x5-ish card. I went with the deluxe paper and the uncoated finish, just like I did on the invitations. The postcards are a lot cheaper. I was able to get 100 postcards for $36. One thing to note when you are picking how many invitations or details cards to print is that the number of people that you invite is not the same as the number of invitations that you're sending. So what that means is that a lot of times you're gonna invite like a couple, but you'd only send one invitation to that person's house, obviously, because they are a couple. So just keep that in mind before you go and, print out 150 invitations when you really only need 75. That is a very common mistake to make. So that is the exact process that I used on Canva to design my wedding invitations. If you have any questions on the Canva part, please leave them below. I'm happy to answer any questions or make any follow-ups. But without any further ado, let me show you what they look like once they are all printed and in my house. Now, to make the invitations feel even more high quality, I decided to use a scoring board to give them a little engraved effect. So this is the scoring board that I used. This step is completely optional, but I really do feel like it was what elevated the invitations and made them feel less DIY and a little bit more like they came out of a print shop. You simply put the invitation on the scoring board. I suggest having the back side facing up. Then you just trace your line down the invitation, flip it, do it again, flip it until you've drawn a line on 4 sides. The elephant in the room, yes, this did take quite a long time, which is why I say it's completely optional, but I really do love how they turned out. So if you do have the extra time, I highly suggest it. For a 5x7 invitation, I used the 1/4 inch marking. So basically I would start at the 1/4 inch marking at the top, trace all the way down until I reached the section where there would be a 1/4 inch left on the actual card, stopped there, and did all 4 sides like that. I highly recommend practicing it first. So maybe take one of your invitations that you don't mind being a scrap invite and just practice the lines. Don't press too hard when you do it because you don't want to obviously tear through the paper, although these invitations are really good quality. So I wasn't really afraid of that. And also do it while you're doing something else, like watching a TV show or listening to music. It really helps the time go by a lot faster. And to show the Vellum Jackets, this is what they look like. But basically you would just slip the invitation inside like this. And if you have a details card, you'd put that in here as well, just like that. You can add a bow around it. Just keep in mind that anything that you add to a card, obviously you have to pay more money from the post office if it's like an odd shape. Wax seals are another thing that adds more money to your postage cost as well. So if you want to avoid that, I would suggest getting one of these stickers. I also suggest opting for one of these cute stickers, which is what I will be doing. When it comes to the envelopes, I got these plain ivory ones on Amazon. I did write all of my guests' addresses by hand, which I know a lot of people don't love to do. Personally, I don't mind it. I like my handwriting. So it really wasn't a problem for me. If you don't want to do that, there are obviously a couple of options for you. I know that you can print out labels with each person's name on it. You can also use a Cricut if you're someone who has one of those. I'm actually getting one very soon, which I'm really excited about, but not in time for my invites, unfortunately. However, for our return address, I got this handy dandy stamper, which I absolutely love and totally recommend that you get. Basically, it's a stamper that has our name and obviously our address, but you just stamp it onto each envelope. Makes it so easy, especially because, that's something that you'd have to write over and over and over again. Definitely saved us a lot of time. And like everything else, I will put the link to this custom stamper down in the description for you. I realized that I totally forgot to do an outro, but thank you so much for watching. If you're gonna use this tutorial, please let me know in the comments. I would love to see how your final invitations turn out. If you're not already, please make sure to subscribe and let me know if there's another video that you want to see in the future. Anyways, thank you again. Thank you for all the support, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!